Hi guys, my name's Tammy and I'm the mother of three. I'm here to talk to you guys today about autism. My son Austin, who will be 8 next month, is autistic. He has PDD. When Austin was about a year and a half old, I noticed that he was kind of withdrawn. He wasn't saying mama or dada. He couldn't communicate with us at all. He was very aggressive. And I could call his name about 200 times and he still wouldn't look at me. He's my first child. I had trouble realizing that, he was delayed or behind because, he's my son, and as parents, it's kind of a scary thing to think that there's something that could be wrong with your child, especially your firstborn. I went and made an appointment for him with a neurologist, and we were on a waiting list for about 6 months before we got an appointment. The neurologist did confirm that he has PDD, pervasive developmental disorder, a milder form of autism, and helped set us up in our area with organizations that help. Early intervention would come out for about 2 hours every week and work with them, and same with ABA. An ABA therapist would come 2 hours every day and actually work with them 5 days a week. And it helped tremendously. I mean, they came out and helped with his speech, they helped with his motor skills, and, it prepared him because when he turned 3, what happens is the ABA services and early intervention stop, and they go to preschool. It was a special education preschool, and it did take a few months for him to adjust because, like most autistic kids, a change of scenery and environment is, pretty detrimental to them. I mean, it's, they have to get comfortable, and with autism, it took a while before he warmed up, but when he did, he started to really excel, and it helped his speech, his communication, and his emotions as well, because with autism, when they can't communicate, it's a frustrating thing. You put yourself in their shoes for a minute and imagine what it would be like to not be able to communicate how you're feeling or what you want or what you need. And it's heartbreaking for a mother to not know what your child wants or needs. So once, he started school, things really started to change. When I found out that he was autistic, I was actually pregnant with our second child, and I was really worried about how do you have an autistic child and take care of a newborn. And, I think the word autism just scares a lot of people. I think it's a scarier thing than, it actually is. I know that when I was pregnant with my second son that everyone would be like, how are you going to do it? Oh, it's so hard to have a child that's autistic. You should have just stopped with the one. And I realized I'm not going to make my child feel like he held us back from having a larger family or held us back from anything. And I'm not going to hold him back from anything. I wanted him to have a brother to play with or a sister to play with. I wanted him to grow mentally and learn the socialization skills that he needed. So once we had my second son, I was a little scared that he was going to be aggressive with him or hurt him, but, he was very gentle with him. He actually kind of ignored him until my younger son could make his presence be known and move around and talk and engage with him. And, they do get in their fights now, but it's not, as scary as I thought it was going to be. They're, best friends some days and they fight some days, and, I'm pretty used to it now. But, his brother doesn't even realize what autism is, his younger brother. He doesn't, think his brother's any different than anybody else. That's his big brother, and, they play, they fight, they do what boys do, being 5 and 7. And, it's one of those things that I think that if you don't want to come to grips with the fact that you think your child might be autistic, if you don't do these things, it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt them. It's not going to get any better. I think that what helped us was the fact that, we did come to grips with it when we did, and we got the services as early as possible. I think if you have any questions or, concerns about your child's health and mental state, that you should always talk to your pediatrician about it, and they can help you find resources. Also, if you're questioning some of the things your child's doing and think it might be a sign of autism, autismspeaks.org is a great website to go to and find resources. For us, we were young. We didn't really know, him being our first child, what to look for. We hadn't been around babies for a long time. So I think what helped us was coming to grips with it and, living our lives normally and living his life normally. I don't like to treat my son like he's different or, that he's special and gets special treatment, because it's not fair to him and it's not fair to his siblings. I like to treat them all the same and, live our lives as normally as possible. I don't let him think there's something wrong with him. I know that there is going to be days when, at school, some kids might say something that aren't in his class and don't understand what autism is. they look at Austin and he doesn't look like he's autistic. He doesn't look like there's something wrong with him. But, mentally he is a little bit behind. So, I mean, being out in public with him, he's always been a big kid. He's almost 5 feet tall at, 7 years old. And people would look at us if he was having a fit and like, oh, why is that kid acting like that? That's not normal for a child to be acting that way when he's that age. But, just because he doesn't look like he's, mentally behind, he was, and he is. So, I mean, that's something to think about when you're out in public and you see a child acting up, that there might be something wrong. I think that if you guys have any sort of concerns about any of it, that it's always important to talk to somebody about it. And to always try to be on the same page as your significant other. I know that my husband was a little bit in denial when we had Austin because, he was his first son and, there could never be anything wrong with the son. And, but we did come together and, deal with the situation head on, because if you don't, it's only going to hurt your child. So it's always important to keep your child's best interests at heart and going into these situations, as painful as it is or as upsetting as it is, to really be there for them and be supportive. If you guys have any questions about autism, place them in the comment section. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Obviously I'm not an expert, but I have been dealing with it since my son was about 1.5 years old, and that was 6.5 years ago. So if you guys have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment box and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thanks for watching and have a great day.